Welcome to the Christmas shave. Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy holidays. I hope you're enjoying a well-deserved rest and a break. If you have to work through the holidays, our hearts go out to you. All the best and hang in there. Hello again, Michael Friedberg here with the almost last shave of the year, the penultimate shave of the year. I have two products for review for this almost Christmas Day shave. Today it's going to be a Secret Santa gift that I received. It's the Myrsol. This is the Don Miguel 1919 shaving soap. That's product number one for review. And the second is going to be at the end of the shave. It'll be the other version of the Bart's Balms aftershave balm. So let's talk about the soap first. As you all know, or as many of you know, if you've been watching these videos for a while, you know how much I love the Myrsol aftershaves, and particularly the scents in those. It's a fantastic, clean, simple, straightforward aftershave. Love them. I haven't enjoyed their soaps in the past. I was looking forward to getting this as part of a Secret Santa because, well, this scent is kind of a recreation of one of the original formulas that was in their sort of their recipe book. It is named after sort of an homage to the original. The patriarch of the family is where the founder of the company, I believe, Don Miguel. This is a very strongly scented soap. It is a jasmine scent. It's a coconut oil based soap with lanolin. So it's not vegan, just the additional lanolin. So just be aware of that. The soap scent is it's pungent. It's really quite strong. It's a very distinct jasmine scent to it. I would not call this kind of a light or subtle scent. I've seen it described as subtle. I would not say that's the case at all. This is really very strongly scented of jasmine, which is a very kind of a nice heavy scent, not light, and a little bit heady, I think is probably the best way to describe it. So the soap may look hard in the container, but in fact it's actually quite light and a little bit foamy. It reminds me a bit of the Meissner Tremonia paste, the same kind of texture. I will say I have had to use more of this soap than really any other soap in the last year. I've scooped out a fair amount every couple shaves because the brush picks up a great deal of the soap. So there's a couple things that I'll talk about when using the soap to kind of avoid some of the frustrations I think many of you will in fact experience with the soap. Easy to overcome if you know what's going on. So I have scooped out another amount into the Captain's Choice loading bowl. If I said lathering bowl last time, my apologies, loading bowl. I'm going to use for today, and I'm being brave, not really. I'm going back to the Zenith Pro plastic. I just picked this one sort of at random. I wanted to do another boar brush shave. Yes, this one is very loose and floppy when wet, but it's breaking in quite nicely and actually easy to use with that soap if you follow two simple things. The first is you have to start with the dry brush. Let me get my face wet and then we'll start lathering up the soap, and I'll talk about what I think is the best approach for it. This is, as always, about 2 days worth of growth. No shave Saturdays. Okay, so start with the dry brush, and the soap is very soft, so if you exert too much pressure, you're going to start picking up almost all of it quickly, and what you want to end up with is kind of a dense paste on the brush. If you start with a wet brush, you're going to basically see the soap kind of dissolve into the brush, and it will look like you really haven't loaded any, and that it's kind of disappeared into the bristles. So I'm just trying to make sure I can pick up as much soap. It should form a nice kind of soft pasty layer. I'm going to drip a little bit of water in there. You can see, by the way, if I were to rinse this, how much of the soap I've picked up in there. There's a little piece stuck on there. All right, I'm going to drip a bit of water into the bowl, like just a drop or two, to help pick up the rest of the lather in there. Now, I think this is easier if you're just lathering out of the container, but of course I don't do that, so I have to adapt a little bit. So that should be plenty. I'm going to wet my face again, and we'll go ahead and start lathering. Now, I think if you start with too wet a brush, and or you don't use enough soap, it's not going to go well. You're going to end up with a very frustrating thin lather that does not do this soap justice. The scent strength remains quite strong, by the way, when lathering. It evens out a little bit, smooths out, but that is still a very heady, strong, pungent floral scent. Just using the brush lightly because it is so floppy, a lot more sort of painting than hard scrubbing. As you can see, that's still pretty heavy and dense, so I'm going to add some water. I'm not sure who else is doing that, if anyone else does that kind of slapping to get a feel for how heavy or how wet the lather is, but I find it to be a very good technique to get a good feel for how dense the lather really is. You're looking for something that is not too thick, doesn't sort of hold on to the brush, and that feels sleek and sort of slippery as you move the brush over the soap. And that is very close. Yeah, I would hate to see people give this soap a try and then sort of give up because they're just not getting the results that they expect, because this is actually a pretty good soap. But it does take a little bit of care when building the lather. And there we go. I'm going to add just another touch of water. That feels pretty good, but a little heavy still. I'm just sort of painting that water in. And you can see what's happening there, certainly in the bottom of my neck. A very nice, smooth, dense, creamy, slick lather. There you go. Simple as that. All right, today's razor is going to be the RazoRock Baby Smooth. I'm using a blade I haven't used before, other than this week. It's the Derby Premium. First shave with this, I would have to describe as a little rough, and then it's evened out actually quite nicely. Yes, I'm putting the washer on there, which I hope you can see. Still really enjoying the handle. All right, let's get the screw together. We'll get the shave going. There we go, that's good and snug. All right, there we go with the grain pass. Yeah, so as I said, this is the next to last, the penultimate shave of the year. I will be doing a final shave next Sunday, and I'll also be releasing sort of a 2018 in review video. I'll cover sort of the best of things that didn't work so well for me, some of the biggest surprises, highlights of the year. If I do include, and I think I will, sort of the top 10 or the best of, they'll be in no particular order. And there'll be no king of soaps crown, so just to set your expectations there. I know people always want to hear about the best of the best of the best, but that's just kind of a little crazy hard nowadays. Are there soaps I prefer? Yeah, absolutely. Are there soaps that didn't work for me? Yeah, absolutely. How good are the good soaps? Well, you know from your own experience, the good soaps are really good. Great combination of this razor and the soap, by the way. The blade is not... The blade doesn't feel super sharp and it doesn't feel very smooth, but it still feels pretty effective. Yeah, the first shave this week just did not get a good lather out of that soap because I just hadn't picked up enough and I sort of had too wet of a brush. I did try one day with one of the big Yaki synthetics. Basically the same experience. You need enough soap, start with a dry brush, and it worked out great. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm a big fan of the Myrsol stuff. I've used their soaps before, and I definitely agree with some other reviewers. They are a little bit tricky to use, or can be. But it's a nice set of ingredients. I'm a big fan of lanolin. It works well for my skin. If it works well for your skin, then this is definitely a soap you should be looking into. Just pay attention to how you're building the lather. Still plenty of soap in the brush. I would expect I will not need to go back to the loading bowl, but if I do, no worries. Still plenty in there. There we go. Perfect. Well, perfect is a strong word. Yeah, one more shave this year and then that'll be done. I'll have a piece in that video about just some basic numbers about like number of soaps and number of razors and things like that. It's been interesting to go back and kind of take a tally of what I've done over the course of the year. Yeah, nice slickness to the soap. As I said, the scent, if you really enjoy kind of a strong floral scent, and I would honestly say that really that is the primary and dominant note here. I don't experience this personally as a complex scent, and many of the things I've used this year have in fact been very complex. Think about something like the Pana Crema. How many scent notes were in that pyramid? This feels, I would have to describe it as kind of old school or old fashioned in its scent profile. And in fact, in some ways, although it's not the same scent, it kind of reminds me of the Tabak in terms of the strength of the scent and what I would describe as the era of the scent. Really easy shave. I know that for a lot of people the Baby Smooth is just a little too mild, not enough blade feel. But for me, kind of like the Tech in that regard, it's just so easy to use that, you know, that just doesn't bother me. Okay, I've dipped the tips of the brush in the water a little bit. I'm going to pick up a bit more soap. Just drop a bit more water in there. That sounds pretty good too. That doesn't sound kind of light and fluffy. It sounds like it's got a good bit of a sort of density and paste to it. Yeah, there you go. Very nice, slick feel in the face. A nice kind of a fatty feel to it. There we go. Just pull a little bit of that up and off. All right, well, pass number 3. Ugh. I did not count, by the way, how many times I got soap in my mouth, but I know that it's more than 0. All right, this is the Against the Grain. You know, this is sort of where the mildness of the razor is a big boon for me because I like to buff in this third pass. I will say though, I think that my beard is getting tougher. At least it seems that way. It sounds different sometimes when I'm shaving it. Like a bit more wiry. There is of course more gray in there than there was at the start of the year. No comments required. All right, let's finish off under here. Yeah, there's been, I think I've done an extra pass twice this week. Like just an additional quick cleanup. We're having some work done on the house and there is a lot of dust. And as the week has gone on, and I've had just one here too, my skin is definitely a little bit inflamed. I've had some flare up on the side as well, so even with as mild a razor as this, easy to catch yourself a little bit. Skin is just a little thinner and inflamed. It's just a surface wound. There we go. Easy. Just check. Yeah, a little bit right there. Squeeze out some of the lather from the brush. You can see sort of how dense and creamy that is. Yeah, and if your lather with the soap is thin or bubbly or isn't lasting through a pass, you need to just use more soap. Whew, there we go. Easy. All right, let me rinse off a little bit. There we go. Yeah, my skin was doing great until this work on the house started. And then as soon as that amount of sort of drywall dust and just, I don't know, whatever else is happening, they're having the bathroom redone. 2 or 3 days into it, like, yep, something's happening over there. All right, let's get the soap out of my ear. Rinse off a little bit. So this is a pretty high in lanolin content soap, one of the hallmarks of their products for shaving. So I will say that generally speaking, post-shave for me is pretty good. It's not fantastic. It's pretty good. Like I can definitely feel my skin is not tight or hot, but that doesn't last that long. So I have been using a post-shave balm with this. Although that's pretty good, I can feel that that's going to start drying out a little bit. So what I've been using is the other balm that I received from Bart's Balms. I had used the post-shave oil previously, which I really quite liked. This is another argan oil base. This is, I believe, it was coconut oil, grapeseed oil, and argan oil. I think are the 3 primary ingredients. 2 pumps of this balm. Again, it's a pretty aggressive pump action, so just be prepared for that. A nice thick consistency, which for me is 100% my preference. I know that a lot of people like the more milky, more fluid ones, but I like a denser, heavier balm. There we go. As always, warm up my hands and then apply, at least this is how I do it. I always apply in the direction of the growth. I don't really rub it in. Against the growth. There we go. This stuff soaks in almost immediately, and I really enjoyed how it feels. It's been a great compliment to the soap. a very light, kind of a smooth, slick feel to it. Skin feels hydrated, doesn't feel tight. It doesn't leave behind like an overly greasy or kind of waxy, thick feel to it. Just soaks in quickly and easily. The scent, this is the Bergamot and Vanilla, and for me what I get really is kind of a light sweet tone with a touch of citrus from the bergamot in there. It's nothing overpowering. It's a nice light scent. It doesn't in any way kind of sort of overpower any remaining jasmine scent there might be from the soap, which once you rinsed is pretty much out of the picture anyway. Yeah, nice, very nice light scent to it, and a very nice product. Really enjoyed using that all week, and as I said, a very good compliment to the soap. Wow, okay, well, that's not bad for almost the last shave of the year. So 2 more videos this year are still coming. One last shave with the product I've held onto, which I've been looking forward to using for ages now. So I'm going to end on that. And then the video after that will be a recap of the year. Some best of, things that didn't work so well for me, some of the scents that I really enjoyed, talk about some of the happy surprises of the year, and hopefully you guys will enjoy that. All right, let's do, as always, and I say it and I mean it, a lightning fast recap, and then it never is. What's up with that? Myrsol, Don Miguel, 1919. Coconut oil based, rich in lanolin, very strongly scented of jasmine, an easy to use soap if you take the right approach. Make sure you're getting enough soap in your brush. Very soft, kind of almost foamy or mousse-like in texture. Just load from the container or put it in a separate dish. Be prepared to use more soap than you might normally use. Dry brush, add water slowly, and you'll see what you can get, which to my mind was a very, very nice, dense, creamy, slick lather. Really enjoyed the soap. Strong, heady scented jasmine. If that's not what you're looking for, which is a strong, very pronounced floral scent, then I would say skip that one. Otherwise, go for it. Today's razor, RazoRock Baby Smooth with the Derby Premium Blade. As always, so easy to use, so light, just very light touch. You can buff like crazy. Always enjoy using this razor. A very, very good design for me. I realize maybe too mild for some of you. Great fit for me. Today's brush, and I'm very glad I kept this actually, which is this Zenith Plastic Pro or Pro Plastic. Super floppy when you get it wet, but as you saw, actually still able to build a very good lather pretty easily. I completely understand why this brush is not for most people. It's just too floppy and not enough backbone. But as you saw, you can still easily make that brush work very, very well for you. So very happy that I held on to that. Let's close out with Bart's Balms. This is the Bergamot and Vanilla. This is the cream style as opposed to the oil style. Really enjoy using this all week. Soaks in easily. The argan oil works great for my skin, especially with the little bit of irritation that I've had and sort of heat. This has been a very good complement to that and a very nice way to close out the shave. Strongly scented soap, a nice lightly scented balm to come after that. Very happy with that. Very glad I got to use those 2 this year. Is that it? I think that's it. I think we're all done. Well, not too shabby, my friends. I will hopefully see you next week. Thank you again so much for watching. As always, I really appreciate the time you're taking to watch these videos. As always, please feel free to leave a question or comment against this video or any previous video. And until next time, thank you again so much for watching, and goodbye